Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. Before I get started on my statement, basically it's just going to be a statement at this because this is something that I'm glad the chairman and the ranking member have such passion in this, and this is something we need to be talking about. But I'm also going to talk about who's not here. And I do this not in any other way except we need to have everybody to the table. So I know that Amazon, eBay, and Walmart are listening. They are friends. We know each other, but we cannot hide from this discussion. And I need them to be a part of the discussions at the table. This is not new for this subcommittee. It's not new for this committee. And it's definitely not new for anybody who knows me, that the way you solve problems is not by avoidance, but by actually taking the issues on. And I want to help that. It'll be something that we can do, but we cannot discuss issues around issues when we don't have a lot of times the players here. And I'm so glad the PTO office is always here. It's always good to see you guys as being a part. But those are the kind of things that we need to talk about. One of the things I'm concerned about many times is when we avoid things, then we have misunderstandings. We could clear those up early in the process, and we could also remember that while we're doing it, it's just not only for these companies that I named and not out of shame or anything else, but why shouldn't you be here? Because we're trying to make this better for you and for the end result and for the customer who is at the bottom line, our constituents, and we need to be a part of that as well. So with that, I appreciate the opportunity. And what we have to understand is the rampant sale of counterfeits online is not just a threat to U.S. jobs and innovation. It also poses a threat to consumers. Through their third-party marketplaces, platforms are selling contact lenses contaminated with bacteria that catches fire, cheaply made toys that allow children to swallow magnets and force them to undergo surgery, and even airbags that kill a driver. The list of counterfeit products that's being sold online is endless, so just imagine how often we expose ourselves and our loved ones to harm when we are tricked into buying counterfeits online. Online marketplaces have the choice to aggressively protect consumers from counterfeits, show respectful for other property rights. But brand owners argue some of making merely a cosmetic effort. Certainly marketplaces could do more to stop their sites from being used to sell counterfeits, which is why we would need to hear from them. We recently held a roundtable to hear from brand owners and platforms on this issue. Which platform has demonstrated it is truly committed to stopping the sale of counterfeits and by protecting consumers? By most account, it's Alibaba. At the roundtable, we learned that Alibaba's anti-counterfeiting policies and programs are significantly more effective than their U.S. counterparts. They are working very closely with all complaining brand owners and are using cutting-edge technology to scan for and detect counterfeits. I find it shocking that U.S. platforms are so far behind. Marketplaces must aggressively protect U.S. customers and IP rights holders from sellers who seek to trick consumers into buying counterfeits. Marketplaces must have effective policies and practices to detect, block, and the sale of counterfeits automatically and are immediately responsive to complaints by consumers and brands. Quickly remove counterfeiters from their sites and detect and prohibit confirmed counterfeiters from returning under another name. The marketplace must apply these anti-counterfeiting policies and practices with equal rigor to protect all brands, particularly our small businesses, and not reserve their best protections for a few companies that bring huge profits to the marketplace. Platforms must do a better job of vetting sellers and sharing information with brands, consumers, and law enforcement so these thieves can be brought before U.S. courts. Marketplace should not allow sellers to trick consumers into buying a counterfeit by using a product's image without the brand owner's consent. Marketplaces should not promote counterfeit sellers' products by highlighting the products of sellers offering the same item at a counterfeit price. These solutions are well within the grasp of our large online marketplaces and practices they should have already implemented on their own. I hope the witnesses will wish that we had the witnesses here to also talk about this, which we don't, and I say that just from an encouraging way so that we can find a way forward. And I appreciate the work that the PTO office has done on this. I will continue to encourage what you are doing because we have to find an answer here. At the end of the day, this is not about, and from my perspective and for those who have worked with me, this is not about labeling bad and good. This is about labeling that we have a problem, let's fix it. We have issues that need to be discussed, let's discuss them. It is not about avoidance, and when we have avoidance, then we have misunderstanding. Misunderstanding leads to bad law. Bad law means that I have to sit through hearings after hearings after hearings on discerning why we have bad law. So let's get it right the first time. Let's have it right the first time. Let's have honest conversation, and let's do this the right way to begin with. I thank the chairman. I thank the ranking member of this subcommittee who have done outstanding work together on this, and I appreciate the witnesses that are going to be showing examples of that today, and of course, always the friends at the PTO office. And with that, I yield back.